Welcome back. My name is Patrick Nolan. I'm an attorney licensed in the state of Missouri. This is Pat Talks Law. I've actually shot this particular video several times because I've gotten passionate about it and taken it in directions I didn't want it to go. So today we are talking about Missouri veterans and medical marijuana. The Amendment 2 that became Article 14 of the Missouri Constitution dedicates the tax proceeds from medical marijuana to a fund controlled and operated by the Missouri Veterans Commission. And those funds are transferred to the Missouri Veterans Commission. This is Amendment 14, Paragraph 4, Section 4, Taxation Reporting, Paragraph 2B. It transfers those funds to the Missouri Veterans Commission for a list of purposes. It does not have any allowance for the governor to control those funds directly. And this is a problem. And this is where the problem lies. First, the governor is ignoring that part of the Constitution. And while his spending proposals for that money are directed towards providing services for veterans, it is my contention that the Constitution doesn't allow him to spend that money. That has to be handled by the Missouri Veterans Commission. Now, here's the conundrum that, a lot of people are going to be saying, well, so what? The Missouri Veterans Commission falls under Department of Public Safety, which Governor Parsons is at the head of. Governor Parsons is the appointing authority for the members of the Veterans Commission, which means he says who gets to be on the committee. So, and in fact, he appointed 3 new members to the Veterans Commission less than a week ago, and they all appear to be fine people. I mean, you've got Colonel McClelland, who is also an attorney in Missouri. You have Sergeant Maples, a retired Master Sergeant from the Army National Guard here in Missouri. And you've got General Alwell, who is retired from the Missouri Army National Guard as well as a Brigadier General. And, on the surface, there's nothing wrong with any of those candidates. The question here is, in the conflict between the governor spending money that the Missouri Veterans Commission is supposed to be managing, are they going to stand up to the governor who appointed them? I don't know. You can ask them. I haven't. I'm not going to put any of them on that spot with that kind of question, because nobody in that position is ever going to answer that question. Not directly. Additionally, the 3 of them don't control the commission, so that even if they felt that way, it wouldn't be their decision. And it would be silly to pick a fight with the governor that they can't win. And I don't think any of those 3 would do that. So, regarding the spending, I base my assessment on who controls that money on the actual text of the Missouri Constitution, Article 14, Section 4, Paragraph 2B and 2C. I will probably pop the text of that into the description, but you can go look that up. The issues at hand are, last year, Governor Parsons had recommended spending $1 million of the veterans' money on a tiny house project that's headed up by former Secretary of State Jason Kander. Then the Missouri legislature increased that from $1 million to $2.5 million. And that is planning to build 50 tiny houses for homeless veterans in St. Louis. So that $2.5 million is going to provide 50 tiny houses. That money was not discussed, it was not voted on, it was not approved by the Missouri Veterans Commission until just a couple weeks ago, after the spending and the budget had already been approved and spending had started. And that approval didn't happen until after the previous chair of the Missouri Veterans Commission resigned on New Year's Eve. So there was some pushback, and I think, personally, I believe that Mr. Noonan was asked to resign, but regardless, he did. So why is this an issue now? Well, the governor has proposed his budget for the upcoming budget year. And in it, he's proposed spending roughly $4.7 million of veterans' money on various projects. From the governor's past spending choices, those go to, that money gets spent for his political supporters or for his political purposes. Yes, it may ultimately benefit veterans in some way, but it's benefiting Governor Parsons. The contract for the tiny homes, that wasn't put out for bid. Okay, it was given to the charity run by Jason Kander. So that's a problem. Now there's $4.7 million that are hanging out there in the breeze on this next budget. The St. Louis Post reports that it's going to go to HEPA filter installation, virus response training, improved Wi-Fi, and some other projects. And that is now coming from the Veterans Commissioner saying that. But if this money is in Governor Parsons' budget, it is not spending being handled by the Missouri Veterans Commission. And that is an important distinction. What they're doing now is they're setting the precedent that this money is the governor's slush fund, not this money is for veterans. It's a very fine line to spend it on something tangentially related to veterans. Improved Wi-Fi, well, to aid with telehealth and virtual family visits in veterans' homes. So, is that a good thing? Yeah, I don't know. But the decision wasn't made by the people it was supposed to be made by, and that is not a good thing. And a lot of these things are being done in the dark. The contracting is not being done properly, and that is also a concern. So, at the end of January, the Veterans Commission retroactively approved $2.2 million in funding for the tiny homes project. Well, it sounds to me like the Veterans Commission is covering the governor's ass. Now, we just had 3 new members appointed to the Veterans Commission. There are problems here. What those problems mean, the first time I did this and the second time I shot this video, I went through and I used much, much stronger language. I said, "Governor's stealing from veterans." Now, I've toned that back some because I can't say that. While I feel that way, I can't support that. I think that how this is being done is not right. Now, is the money ultimately going to a veterans project? Yes. Is the person who's supposed to be making this, the people who are supposed to be making the decision, the ones making it? No. And that's a problem. That money needs to be transferred to the Missouri Veterans Commission, and then they will be responsible for spending that money. So what does that get us? Yeah, it gets us to the classic Missouri two-step. The money gets transferred to the Veterans Commission. The governor calls up the people he appointed to the Veterans Commission and says, it'd be a good idea if you spent it on X. And then the Veterans Commission gets together and says, it's not a bad project. We're going to spend it on X. Because you don't screw with the governor. So, that's not there's no real good answer to that. Okay. And this is just one of the problems facing Missouri. While there may or may not be corruption in that process, there's definitely opportunities for it. Definitely opportunities to avoid oversight. And frankly, it just looks bad. It looks bad on the governor, but he is a political person and he won't care unless you care. And that's what it comes down to. Either you care that we actually follow the Constitution of the state of Missouri, or you don't care if we follow the Constitution of the state of Missouri. If you do care, you need to stand up and be counted. That's my thoughts for today. Please hit like, subscribe. We will be talking about Missouri veterans issues and our medical marijuana funding again, I'm sure. But thank you very much. And if you feel so compelled, drop a note to your legislator, drop a note to your state senator, drop a note to the governor. Let them know that youth believe that this is inappropriate. Or if you think I'm batshit crazy, tell me you think it's right. Drop a comment in the comments. Thank you. We'll be talking to you later.